Imagine a land where ancient rivers carve through jagged mountain spires, where wooden towns cling to cliffs above waterfalls, and where cultures, older than empires, still whisper through lantern-lit streets. This is China. Not the version you think you know from postcards and guidebooks, but a deeper world woven from stone, water, wind, and memory. In this film, we travel beyond the usual checklists to discover places where history is still lived every day. From high plateau towns shaped by ancient trade routes to canal cities where time drifts in gentle currents. These are not just travel destinations. They are living stories, fragile, irreplaceable, and astonishingly alive. As you watch, ask yourself one question. If these places carry centuries of memory, what is our responsibility when we visit them today? China is often described as a single country. In reality, it behaves more like a small continent. To the west, the Tibetan and Himalayan ranges rise to altitudes where the air thins and snow lingers all year. In the north, cold deserts and endless grasslands ripple under a harsh wind. To the south and east, fertile plains, subtropical valleys, and more than 14,000 kilometers of coastline stretch towards the sea. Within these borders, you can walk on frozen plateaus in the morning, pass through terraced rice fields in the afternoon, and drift along palm-lined rivers by evening. Each region has shaped its own way of life, its own architecture, its own rhythm of work and celebration. This diversity is exactly what makes China's most beautiful places so compelling. Ancient towns did not appear randomly. They grew where geography allowed trade, defense, and culture to flourish. River towns emerged where waterways met. Cliff towns developed where high ground offered security. Plateau towns formed where caravan routes converged. In this film, we focus on a special group of destinations, ancient towns and historic settlements, where natural beauty and cultural heritage are tightly interwoven. Understanding the land they stand on is the first step to understanding why they matter. Our first deep dive takes us to the highlands of Yunnan, to the old town of Lijiang. At roughly 2,400 meters above sea level, Lijiang sits at the edge of the Yunnan-Guizhou Plateau. For centuries, this old town was a crucial node on the Tea-Horse Road, a trading network that connected China's inland tea-growing regions with the Tibetan Plateau. Caravans loaded with tea, salt, medicines, and textiles once wound their way through these narrow streets, stopping to rest in wooden inns before pushing on towards distant markets. Much of that caravan traffic is gone, but the town's soul remains visible in its architecture. Lijiang is famous for its intricate water system. Mountain springs feed channels that snake quietly through the town, splitting and rejoining to deliver fresh water to courtyards and households. Where most modern cities hide their infrastructure underground, Lijiang displays its water like a living sculpture. The guardians of this town's culture are the Naxi people. Their traditions include a rare pictographic writing system known as Dongba script and spiritual music that blends ritual and storytelling. In some corners of Lijiang, you can still see Dongba texts, hear traditional music, and watch elders teach younger generations. Yet Lijiang also illustrates the complexity of tourism. Since becoming a UNESCO World Heritage Site, it has attracted waves of visitors, new businesses, and rising real estate prices. Many local families have moved out of the old core and into newer districts, renting their historic homes to commercial operators. Walk down a main lane today, and you might pass coffee chains, fashion stores, and neon signs sitting inside structures built for a very different way of life. The question is not whether this change is good or bad. It's how carefully it is managed and whether the living culture behind the facades is still being protected. For visitors, the opportunity is clear. Lijiang offers dramatic scenery, layered history, and a rare chance to see how an ancient water town functions in the 21st century. The responsibility is equally clear. Come with curiosity, but also with respect. From the highlands, we move east towards the Yangtze Delta, where water defines everything. Here, ancient towns such as Wuzhen, Zhuzhuang, Xitang, and Tongli are built around canals instead of wide roads. Stone bridges arc over narrow waterways, wooden houses lean over the water's edge, and small boats glide quietly under balconies where lanterns sway in the breeze. For centuries, these towns depended on water for transport, trade, and daily life. Goods were loaded directly from workshop to boat. Children learned to swim almost as soon as they could walk. Water was not just a resource, it was a partner in survival. In recent decades, the popularity of these water towns has grown rapidly. Visitors arrive for the photogenic bridges, the nighttime reflections of lanterns on the canal's surface, and the chance to step, quite literally, into a slower world. Local governments have responded by treating some of these towns as integrated heritage zones. Access is controlled, building facades are regulated, and renovation must follow traditional forms. The goal is to keep the town functioning as a living community, rather than turning it into a static museum. But even the best regulations face pressure from commercial demand. Cafes, hotels, and souvenir shops compete for prime canal-side spaces. Residents must decide whether to keep family homes or convert them into businesses. Waste management and water quality must be constantly monitored. These water towns offer a crucial lesson. Beauty and authenticity do not survive by accident. They survive because people fight for them. Architects, planners, local residents, and yes, even responsible travelers who choose how and where to spend their money. It is easy to look at an ancient town and see only architecture, wooden beams, tiled roofs, stone steps worn down by time. But what are we really preserving? At one level, we protect physical structures because they are hard to replace. Once a 300-year-old house is demolished, no amount of modern engineering can rebuild its patina of use and memory. deeper level, we preserve ways of living, the way neighbors greet each other across a narrow lane, the rhythms of local markets, the alignment of homes to canals and courtyards that respond intelligently to climate instead of fighting it. These towns are also micro-models of environmental adaptation. Traditional construction in many regions of China uses local stone, wood, and earth, combined with layouts that maximize natural light, shade, and ventilation. Before electricity, design innovation was the only way to keep homes livable. As climate pressures grow and modern cities struggle with heat, flooding, and resource waste, there is a lot to learn from these historical solutions. Preserving them is a form of research and development in slow motion. Finally, there is identity. For local communities, ancient towns hold stories of ancestors, migrations, hardships, and celebrations. For visitors, they offer tangible proof that human civilization is diverse and inventive. When a heritage site is lost or degraded, the damage is not just visual. A part of human memory becomes harder to access. That is why responsible preservation is not nostalgia. It is long-term investment in culture, knowledge, and resilience. After spending time in places like Lijiang, After spending time in places like Lijiang and the canal towns of the Yangtze Delta, one realization becomes impossible to ignore. Heritage is fragile. I have walked down alleyways where the upper floors still house elderly residents, while the ground level has become a row of cafes. I have seen children racing over bridges that have stood since long before their grandparents were born. I have watched delivery workers push modern carts down streets designed for horses and hand-carried loads. These scenes are not contradictions. They are proof that heritage is alive. But life moves fast, and it is entirely possible for living culture to be replaced by staged performances if we, visitors, planners, businesses, are not careful. As travelers, we make choices. We decide whether to support family-run guest houses or generic chains. We decide whether to treat historic streets as backdrops for social media or as real neighborhoods where people live and work. The more I travel, the more I believe that every ticket we buy is a vote. We can vote for quick profit and disposable experiences, or for careful stewardship and long-term value. In heritage towns, the difference shows up in what survives for the next generation. Across mountains, plateaus, rivers and canals, we have seen only a small fraction of what China holds, and yet a clear pattern appears. The most beautiful places are often the most vulnerable. Ancient towns, historic water systems, minority cultures, and traditional architectures stand at a crossroads. They can either be preserved as living, evolving communities or reduced to empty shells wrapped in commercial gloss.